Most of the world seems to have forgotten that there's still a war in the East, but not the Chinese. They know well that when they see Japanese troops on the horizon, they must fear the approach of death. That when they hear the distant boom of bombardment and the roar of warplanes overhead, that destruction and horror are again sweeping towards them. Going on for so long, it has almost become part of the life of the people. But time cannot efface its horrors, and until war and the danger of war are removed from the earth, there will be no real progress in the East or in the West.
Hello everybody, Panzer King back here in the Lion's Den bringing you Operation Crimson Tide. We are at 4.7, the USA and KMT's turn, and we are finishing up January 1938. And we are going to be cruising on into the mid part of 1938, where we might see more action. But currently, right now, the United States is going to do as the follow. They are going to carry on with jet fighters, do wartime economy, long-range aircraft, and strategic rockets. And those are the four we're going to try to roll for today. We're going to try to influence Mexico a second time. We are also going to lend-lease a cavalry to Brazil, and we're going to, if successful, hopefully, and I'll show you in a second, we will be rolling a 4 in Brazil for a recruitment roll, but I'll get to that in a moment. And we're going to lend-lease the Flying Tigers to Kwangtung, the southern territory in the KMT territory in China. So that is it. We're also going to save $2. So let's just peruse down here on the map, shall we? And we'll take a little tour and see what we have down here. The KMT are going to buy 2 infantry and a militia with the $7 this turn. Plus, we're also going to upgrade a militia that was a supply token was given to us by the wonderful Far East Command. And consequently, we're going to be able to upgrade a militia in Kwangtung. And right here, we have a battle. The Japanese have decided to attack the KMT and some warlords, consequently the CCP, and we have decided to go back on the offensive. The KMT ranks have grown a little bit since last time here in Tibet, Yunnan. Many of the warlords united with the KMT, and in the north, the one here in Suiyuan, allied with the CCP. So we're all a happy family in China. We're going to be going to war united, hopefully, against Japan. But we're just going to zoom in here so you can see a little bit better. And we have 5 infantry from Nanking breaking out into Shantung, and 4 in Sichuan. And we're going to do a classic pincer movement and hopefully try to kill some high-value targets. There's 2 Marines and a Special Navy landing force there. Hopefully the dice will be with us. We have to be mindful of retreats, 10 or 11, 12. They have to retreat back to the territory they came from. And hopefully we get a 1 or 2, which will be also a hit on these lovely Japanese Marines. So we're aiming for that. And I have the dice set up right here. I have them color-coded. We have the 4 green dice from Sichuan, and then we have the 5 dice. Oh, wait, there's 6 there. We have the 5 dice from Nanking, and those are going to be our infantry class units. The red dice is going to be the Special Navy landing force, and then the 2 whites are going to be Marines. And that's what we're going to be rolling for here in a second. And then we have over here, the Brazilians are going to do an amphibious landing down here, sneaking around the Falkland Islands into the southern part of Patagonia to attack that lone militia. Hopefully we're victorious. We're going to bring in a coastal defense ship, a fighter plane, a Marine, and a single infantry. And hopefully, like I say, we can take that territory. And if we do and are successful, we will have an influence roll of 4 at the end of this turn. And we have the dice set up here. Coastal defense ship, we have our fighter, we have the militia or sorry, the Marines and the infantry. And then of course we have the militia defending the two, which I set up there. So that is it. But let's start with our tech roll, shall we? As we go around the table. And here are the numbers we're looking for each colored die. See what happens. It looks like we got 1, which is jet fighters. God, I feel I'm not very lucky right now with tech. Everybody else seems to be somewhat lucky, but definitely not the United States. But that is what it is, right? So, all right, now we go up to jet fighters, stage 1. And I think what we'll do is we'll just go into our combat scenarios, and we'll see if the KMT is fortunate and hopefully can drive the Japanese invader out of its home country. We're just going to put this here so we can all see it. We're just going to roll all the dice at the same time. There's no artillery, there's no nothing. Let's see what happens. So, you know what? It looks like we have enough hits. And it looks like there's only 1 hit from the Special Navy Landing Force. So they got 1 hit. These two are defending at 4s, so those are both misses. But let's just see here. We got to be mindful of retreats as well. So we have a hit here from Nanking. We have, and I would probably say 2 more hits. 1 here. This is semi-cocked, but it's mostly close to the 2. And then we have this one here. So I'm going to say probably all 3 hits there. Like I say, this one being closely cocked, but it's more dominant to the 2. And like I say, I can re-roll that one if there's any argument or any issues with that. And what I might just do, just for the sake of it, is just re-roll that one. But I would probably call that a hit. But like I say, I don't want to be too passive about it, because obviously we are playing a game and it could mean a lot, right? But definitely we got 1 hit. Now there is 2 retreats. We have 1 retreat from Nanking and also 1 retreat from Szechuan as well. So let's just roll. Well, actually, let's just grab another die here. If this turns out not to be accepted, we'll roll this again and just see what happens. And that's a 7, which you can't see, but it is a 7. So like I say, then we'd have to roll into another combat. But I will let that up to the Japanese player if he wants to re-roll that. I'm pretty happy that there's 3 hits there. And ultimately, it doesn't matter, rank, whatever you want to do, but I would call it a hit. And nonetheless, I think that's it. So we just got to be mindful of what we take off for casualties here. So if the Japanese casualties are taken off, what we have then is we will have 1 infantry staying in Nanking because of the retreat, and 4 moving into Shantung. But there is 1 casualty, so it doesn't really matter where we take it, but we'll take it off, the 1 coming into Shantung. And we also have 1 infantry staying in Szechuan because of the retreats, and we'll put that there. So in total, we will have 7 infantry in Shantung. And this will go back to Chinese possession. And we will put a Japanese rondel on there. Or Chinese rondel, sorry. Be helpful if I actually put this on camera. Sorry, guys. Okay, so all 3 Japanese infantry troops are wiped out. We have 1 infantry staying in Nanking. We have 1 infantry in Szechuan staying there because of the retreats. And then we have a total of 7. Now we were attacking with 9, so 1, 2. I think that's incorrect. Just want to make sure here. So we should have 5, because we should only have 8 left. So I do apologize for some reason. I don't know why we had that, but we should have 5, 6 in Shantung, because there was 5 here, 4 there, 1 each stays, and we had a casualty. So sorry, yes, there should be 6 in Shantung. And that is it, because we only had 1 casualty, and that was on the Special Navy Landing Force. So hopefully that's all resolved, and if Rank has any issues with that die, we can definitely re-roll that or that battle sequence for him, but I'm pretty confident it is a pretty clear hit. Nonetheless, let's just finish up with the Chinese. Actually, no, let's go over here first, and then we'll come back to the Chinese. So let's roll the Brazilian rolls. These are what we need or less on the board here. The dark die is, once again, the infantry, and we'll see what happens. So it looks like we got 0 hits all around. And take the coastal defense ship off, and roll it up. And looks like we got 0 hits again. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. These guys cannot fight. So, looks like we did get a hit. The militia did get a hit, unfortunately, but we finally did get a hit with our plane. So, I'm just trying to think here. Double casualties. Is it on the first round or during the amphibious assault? I can't remember. If it is double casualties, I'm going to obviously take the Marine. But if I can leave the Marine, I will. But for now, I'll just verify that with my comrades and just have currently 1 infantry there in Patagonia. And now that becomes Brazilian. And we'll just take this marker down here to mark that. And now Brazil, of course, these boats are going to be in this area. And this plane came from Rio de Janeiro, so it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the airbase. It can land back in Pampas. And I can't remember if I moved anything up here last turn or whatever, but it is here now in this turn, the 2 infantry and the artillery. So that battle has now been resolved, and fortunately, it was not the greatest for the Allies, for the good guys, but nonetheless, now the fronts have been opened up for Brazil. We have our Lend-Lease, which we're going to send down there. And we're going to put it, since the cavalry is worth 3, we can put it, well, I guess it really doesn't make a difference, but it can move 2 in mountains. So I think what we'll do is we'll put it in Rio de Janeiro just because. And we should have no problem, because it can move 2, it can move Rondel to Roundel into the mountains. And this is an interesting point. There is no Rondel to Roundel because we have, I believe it's Uruguay in the way. So obviously it would have to go near close, and of course we're going through jungle there, right? But because we're going from Roundel to mountains, and then from here to here, I believe we can still move 2 with the cavalry. If not, we'll put our cavalry here, but I'm pretty sure that's how it should be defined, and I could be wrong once again. There's jungle on both sides, but regardless, if I move here, I should still be able to move our movement into there. But if that's not interpreted correctly, we will put our cavalry in Rio de Janeiro. If we can't move that 2 space, then obviously it will go into Pampas. And you guys can comment in the comments for that. Aside from that, we are done there. Now we just have to roll our influence roll. Since I got all those low numbers, I would love one of those right now, but I doubt that's going to happen. And let's roll the Mexican roll at the same time too, just for fun. Nothing. Typical. So that is a waste of money as always, and we have completed the turn. We're saving $2. We are now up to $11 because the Japanese invaded China. So we have gone up to that. So we're going to have a total of $13 next turn to spend, which is exciting. We are going to send our Flying Tigers to our actually, I guess before I send the Lend-Lease, we should just finish our non-combat movements here in the KMT zone. And we also still have to place our units in the KMT zone. So we are going to move oh sorry, we're actually going to upgrade a militia here in Kwangtung. So we have 4 militia, and now we're going to upgrade it and basically just swap the chips over here. So now we have 3 infantry and 3 militia. We're going to do that. Now, what we're going to do here, we're going to move our mountain infantry in from Tibet into Yunnan, as well as our cavalry. Now he can move 2. The cavalry go 1 into Yunnan and the other 1 into Kwangtung. And I think that's probably everything for now. We're going to place our units. We bought 2 infantry and a militia. This militia is going to go into Hainan Island, and this infantry is also going to go into Hainan Island. And then we have 1 infantry left over, and I'm just going to chip it out because it's also going to go into Kwangtung. I believe that's what I want to do. And I think what I might just do for movements wise is we're going to move 2 infantry up here from Yunnan up into Szechuan. Yes, that's what we'll do too. We'll just grab another green die, green chip. I have color coded these guys just to make things a little bit easier. So now there should be 3 infantry in Szechuan. So hopefully I did everything correct there, guys. It was a pretty simple combat, and there's no argument over anything there. Aside from that, I think we are good. And I think that completes the KMT turn. And we have upgraded our militia. Our Flying Tigers are going to be coming in and landing here, since we do have a major port down here in the south, but they are now in Kwangtung. And just as a go over for forces, just for everybody's map, there should be 6 infantry in Shantung. There should be 1 infantry and 2 militia in Nanking, 3 infantry in Kwangtung, 3 militia in Kwangtung, a cavalry, 1 fighter. Hainan Island should have 1 infantry and 1 militia, and we should have 4 militia in Yunnan, 1 mountain, and up in Szechuan, 3 infantry and 1 militia. And that should complete the round of forces there. If there's any non-combat movements, I think the only thing I'm going to do is move my tank from here, or even just rail it from the Heartlands up into southwestern United States down here. Hopefully I can at least do that. Move the tanks around in my home country. I believe I still can. And I believe that's it, guys. That is the USA turn. I don't think there's anything else. Just keep in mind now, we are going to collect our income, and KMT should be up at $8. So we should have now a total of 8 to spend next turn. However, we also have this as a reminder. We have our opium trade. Now the Burma Road, we do get one, but I don't think it's open this turn. Unfortunately not. It's going to be next turn. So we should have $8 plus our opium trade. So we should have $9 in total. And that's it, guys. And USA KMT's turn is done, and go check out General Hand Grenade and his turn for 5.1 for Germany. Take care and stay classy, guys.